Hello and welcome to Hausa TV News at the top of the hour. Coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mary Agiobo. Our top stories. TED Fund unveils 2026 disbursement guidelines. U.S. African delegation meets MAWA, pledges stronger support for NDLEA. Kwara State to host 14th National Council on Housing, federal and state governments to align policies. On the foreign scene, at least 31 dead after crane falls on train in Thailand. Now the news in detail. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, has unveiled its 2026 disbursement guidelines, reaffirming its commitment to strengthening Nigeria's tertiary education sector. The Executive Secretary, Architect Sonny Echono, made this known at a strategic workshop with the heads of institutions in Abuja, describing the meeting as an opportunity to review the 2025 intervention cycle and improve implementation outcomes. He thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for approving the guidelines under the Renewed Hope agenda and commended the Minister of Education and the TET Fund Board of Trustees for finalizing the document. Echono said the 2025 cycle recorded notable successes in project execution and capacity building, adding that key interventions such as medical school rehabilitation, PPP hostels, student grants and campus security have been retained in the 2026 guidelines.
Universities will get 2.525 billion naira each. All polytechnics will get 1.871 billion naira each. And all colleges of education will get 2.056 billion naira each. These funds are meant to strengthen critical physical infrastructure, enhance academic programs, boost research and innovation, and drive overall transformation in Nigeria's tertiary education sector.
The Federal Ministry of Livestock Development has inaugurated a 33-member National Technical Working Group, TWG, to tackle peste des petites ruminants, a highly contagious and deadly disease affecting sheep and goats in Nigeria. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Maiha, described PPR as a major transboundary animal disease that threatens livestock health, food security, rural livelihoods, and national economic growth. He noted that the disease disproportionately affects pastoralists, particularly women, youth, and vulnerable rural communities, while also limiting regional and international trade in livestock products. Maiha said efforts to control and eradicate PPR align with national goals such as economic diversification, poverty reduction, and rural empowerment. Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Chinyere Ijoma Akujobi, said the Technical Working Group would provide technical oversight for surveillance, vaccination, data management, and intersectoral collaboration to ensure effective implementation of PPR control measures. Meanwhile, the head of Animal Health and Reproductive Services, Dr. Michael Alao Mitchell, described the inauguration as a major milestone, noting that the establishment of the TWG positions Nigeria to implement a national PPR control and eradication roadmap to protect the sheep and goat population and strengthen rural livelihoods. Moving on, a delegation of senior officials from the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, has met with the chairman and chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mawa, assuring the agency of an enhanced collaboration in the fight against illicit drugs. Leader of the delegation and U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration liaison to AFRICOM, Philip Esch, commended the strong partnership between NDLEA and the USDEA, describing it as vital to U.S. government interest. He praised Mawa's leadership and welcomed the renewal of his tenure, expressing optimism for continued engagement. Another delegation member, James Echt, lauded NDLEA's impact beyond Nigeria, noting that the agency's efforts contribute to regional and global security. He assured NDLEA of continued support, including new projects, training and equipment assistance. In his response, Mawa thanked AFRICOM for its sustained support, attributing NDLEA's achievements to international partnerships and the backing of the Tinubu's administration. He called for further assistance, particularly in airport scanning equipment, digital forensic tools, drug detection devices, forensic laboratories, and sniffer dogs, stressing that the link between drug trafficking and terrorism. In another development, the Benue State House of Assembly has passed into law a bill for the establishment of the Labe College of Nursing Sciences, BOCO. The bill was approved after scaling through its third reading during plenary, following the consideration of a report by the House Standing Committee on Health, chaired by Honorable Dr. Matthew Damko, representing Tiez State constituency. The proposed college is expected to expand access to nursing and midwifery education for secondary school leavers, while boosting the supply of trained nurses and midwives in the state. The clerk of the House, Dr. Ben Mella, read the bill for the third time as directed by the Speaker, leading to its passage. The Kebbi State government has commenced training on the Safe Schools initiative for principals of secondary schools and colleges across the state as academic activities resume. The training follows the abduction of students from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, MAGA, in November last year. Speaking at the program, the Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Hajiya Halima Bande, said the inclusion of school administrators was necessary to ensure an all-inclusive approach to security and heightened alertness within schools. She urged principals to maintain regular contact with security agencies and to be proactive in addressing security concerns within and around their schools.
Because Kebbi State cannot always be reactive to security challenges happening in our schools. We cannot deny the fact that issue of insecurity happened sometimes ago in federal government college Bini Awuri, and also another incident happened recently in precisely 17th November this year in Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School Maga, all in Kebbi State. So this is a step taken, it's a deliberate step taken by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kebbi State, to carve and make our schools safe for learning. So one of those steps is this sensitization, where leaders of schools, i.e. the principals, the vice principal, admin and academics, together with their security masters, are being sensitized and given tips and knowledge on how to be proactive in terms of security. Simply put, tips, security tips are given to the principals so that they can take it down to students in schools so that they can be secured and they can be security conscious.
Bande also said the successful rescue of the MAGA schoolgirls has restored confidence in the security measures put in place by the state government since the incident. She also encouraged parents and students not to be deterred from pursuing their academic goals, assuring them of the government's commitment to providing a safe learning environment.
The security challenges are also given to them. So that is the essence of this particular meeting this morning. We were in all the zones in the state. In the state we have 6 educational zones. We were in Zuru zone, we went to Yauri zone, we went to Jega zone, we were in Argungu zone, we also went to Gonza zone. Today is the last day. This is the Brandon Kebbi zone where these talks are given to principals so that our schools can be secured for learning. You are a journalist, you can check that MAGA is 100% secured. All the security personnel and facilities needed to make the school secured is deployed to the schools. In fact, let me do this medium and inform the general public that all our schools that have resumed are given relative security so that the schools can be safe for learning. With people like the vigilante, the civil defense corps, the police command, there's more than 80% of schools in Kebbi State have resumed with adequate security to man the schools for learning.
Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, CAPA, has condemned the arrest and detention of 52 Ambrose Lee University students in Edo State over a protest against rising kidnappings in Ekpoma. In a statement, CAPA described the students' remand on charges of malicious damage and robbery as unjust, accusing the government and security agencies of targeting victims instead of tackling kidnappers. The group said the arrest followed a midnight raid on student hotels, with some detainees reportedly not involved in the protest. CAPA called for the immediate release of the students, an independent investigation into the arrests, and urged the Edo State government to prioritize security rather than criminalizing peaceful protests. Moving on, the Polish ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Michał Sigan, has described Nigeria as a stabilizing force in the West African region, highlighting the role of the Nigerian armed forces, particularly the Nigerian Air Force, in counter-insurgency and regional security operations. The ambassador made the remark during a courtesy visit to the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke, at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja. He commended the professionalism of the Nigerian military and expressed Poland's interest in strengthening bilateral defense cooperation to support Nigeria's security priorities. Meanwhile, in his response, Air Marshal Aneke emphasized the importance of international partnerships in tackling modern security challenges and reaffirmed the NAF's commitment to collaboration, capacity building, and information sharing with friendly nations. However, both sides discussed areas of cooperation to support the NAF's counter-insurgency efforts, underscoring the role of defense diplomacy in promoting regional stability and strengthening Nigeria-Poland relations. We take a pause here, and up next are news stories from the build sector. Do stay with us.
This is Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Welcome back. Glad to have you join us on Housing TV News at the hour. Now to the build sector. The Lagos State government under Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is intensifying efforts to close the housing gap by targeting completion of over 14,000 residential units by first quarter of 2026. Commissioner for Housing, Mr. Moruf Akinderu Fatai, highlighted progress made in 2025, including key projects like the 420-unit Akinsonya Somi Ajoshe Housing Estate in Badagry and the 233 units Abraham Adesonya Housing Estate in Aja. To meet the 2026 target, focus will be on finishing ongoing projects such as Songotedo Phase 2, 528 units, Egon Igondo Cluster 2 and 3, 576 units, and Ibeshe Phase 2, 192 units, all aligned with the themes plus the development agenda, emphasizing quality and excellence. Permanent Secretary Abdul Hafiz Toriola announced plans to tackle abandoned buildings statewide by facilitating their completion. This, however, aims to boost housing supply, enhance urban safety by removing criminal hideouts, and improve city aesthetics through urban renewal. The state housing strategy also promotes affordability via the Lagos Home Ownership Mortgage Scheme and rent-to-own programs supported by partnerships with financial institutions and developers. Lagos 2026 Housing Framework combines new construction and asset recovery driven by professionalism and public service values to sustainability, reduce the metropolis housing deficit. And Kwara State will host the 14th National Council meeting on lands, housing and urban development starting January 19, 2026 in Ilorin. The council serves as a vital platform for aligning federal and state housing policies and accelerating sector reforms across Nigeria. Hosted by Minister Architect Ahmed Musa Danjiwa, the meeting will bring together key officials from state governments and professional bodies with Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak as special guest of honor. The theme focused on housing delivery and sustainable cities through effective land management, urban renewal, use of local building materials, and public-private partnerships, reflects the ministry's completion-first approach. The strategy prioritizes finishing existing projects before starting new ones. The Council aims to foster collaboration, eliminating policy bottlenecks, and set a clear roadmap for tackling Nigeria's housing deficit in 2026 through unified and accountable action. On the foreign scene, a tragic accident occurred Wednesday morning in northeastern Thailand's Sikio district, Nakhon Ratchasima province, when a construction crane collapsed onto a passing train, causing it to derail and briefly catch fire. At least 31 people were killed and 64 injured, according to Health Ministry. The train carrying 195 passengers from Bangkok to Ubon Ratchathani was struck by the crane, which was working on an elevated high-speed rail project above the existing tracks. Images showed overturned carriages and rescue workers extracting casualties amid billowing smoke. Transport Minister Phiphat Ratchakit Pharakhan ordered a thorough investigation. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul plans to visit the site, and the Italian Thai development company responsible for the project expressed regret and pledged compensation for victims. This follows a previous fatal construction collapse involving the same company last year. That's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the hour, but before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. TechFund unveils 2026 disbursement guidelines. U.S. AFRICOM delegation meets MAWA and pledges stronger support for NDLEA. Kwara State to hold 14th National Council on Housing, federal and state governments to align policies. On the foreign scene, at least 31 dead after crane falls on train in Thailand. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube. Download the Housing TV mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Many thanks for watching. I am Mary Agiabo. Bye for now.